Yeah, here we are. We are live. Should I put up the little disclaimer?
I think it's mandatory.
It's mandatory. Yeah, all right, hold on. Boom. Now, it kind of apologizes for the lack of decency and bad jokes. I'm wondering, do we both give both of them? Or is it like one of us gets the bad jokes and the other one gets the lack of decency?
My main issue is that apologizes isn't in like quotation marks. I mean,
Okay.
that's my beef, if I can be honest with you.
What's up, everybody? Joey Zaza here with John Matos once again. Shoot the Shit podcast. Sorry we didn't give it a lot of promotion, and at the same time, not sorry. Spontaneous, just put it out there type shit. You know what I mean? If you're watching, you're watching. If not, you'll see it later.
That's how it works.
So, John, man. All right, we were talking. We might circle back to the whole pride and martial arts thing, and we're not talking about pride fighting championships. We're talking about actual ego within the martial arts, practicing and all of that stuff. But we'll get to that later. Let's get down to let's start with the topic of the day, which is money and how is it? Big money fights, is it?
Yeah.
Because it's pretty much your idea. I wasn't going to touch it, but you came up with the idea. So what's up? What is it exactly we're talking about?
I mean, so you see, when it comes to combat sports, especially boxing, but it applies to boxing, MMA, kickboxing, whatever, there are certain fights that there's a huge payday for the people involved, and that's pretty much all there is to it. You're not watching it because, oh, this guy has an amazing career, I want to see him fight again. You're watching it because it's a spectacle. It's literally an exhibition in some cases, and like sometimes a circus in other cases.
Well, not everybody will see it with the same eyes. It's like, I'm pretty sure now that you practice and you train, you don't see combat sports the same way you did, let's say, 10 years ago when you didn't practice and train.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You know, so there's different eyes. There's people who just want to watch it because they like shit like the Rocky movies and all that other stuff. And, you know, so to them, watching something like Escrimadores, the documentary Escrimadores, and watching Here Comes the Boom, to them is the same shit. You know, when you see it with the eyes of somebody who's actually in there or practices it or makes that training regimen part of their lifestyle, it takes on a whole different everything.
Yeah.
Life, view, everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's been having a bit of a resurgence nowadays, thanks to like all these like YouTubers that are trying to box for attention or for a quick buck. And the Logan brothers are the ones who are doing it the most successfully and the most frequently. There are a few others that have done no more than
technically they're doing the same thing that Conor did without being under a contract of a bigger company.
Right, but also the thing is, this is like,
how is it? Open your mouth, open your wallet.
Right, yeah, that's the remix of "Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is." But yeah, like I'm saying though, Conor, that's his bread and butter. Like if you ask Conor what his job is, he's gonna say, "Oh, I'm a mixed martial artist," and then he'll probably punch you in the mouth because he's an asshole. But these YouTubers, they're literally that. They're YouTubers, or they do something else, and they're doing this fight shit just because, like, oh, it looks interesting, I'll give it a shot. And like the fighters and the boxers that everybody knows, like even the most casual of casual fan, your Mike Tyson, your Holyfield, your Mayweather, your Ali, whatever. Like without exception, they're all people that dedicated their lives to that shit. Like Like Floyd Mayweather Jr. like sacrificed his ability to fucking read in order to be the best boxer in the world, bro. So like, so you got that, you got those people, you got that camp, the hardcore fans, those fighters, etc. And then you got these people on the other side that it's like, yeah, I'm gonna step in just to do it, whatever. And they go in, they make their money, whatever, and they try to demand the same respect as the people from the other camp, and like there's friction, there's a problem, and
well, because it's all about views. You know what I mean? It's all about me. They'd probably, if Ali was around, they'd probably be trying to talk the same shit to him. Because people don't want to hear your whack ass rhymes no more. Now people want to see me and my TikToks and my this and that, and that's what's pushing it. I mean, let's break it down. We can't say that's a new thing.
It's not.
Let me see. Let me check my notes here. I think it was 1921, 24, something like that. I have so much shit written down, bro. So yeah, either July 2nd, 1921. Mm-hmm. That was the first in history, the first $1 million gate.
Okay.
Surpassed a year later by the rematch of those same dudes, being the first $2 million gate.
Okay.
Now the question is, if it wouldn't have made $1 million, this is 1921. That's a lot more than $1 million nowadays.
Oh God, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So would they have even thought of making part 2, the rematch, if it hadn't have generated those numbers?
Yeah, like Dana White asks himself the same thing. They're
prize fighters?
Exactly.
So the money is part of it. Now, how do you regulate the pay? That's a better question. Because I mean, somebody like Conor, you can say, well, he came up so high so quickly, and that's kind of like you were saying earlier, almost a disrespect to everybody else who took their time going up. The Serras, the Pierres, the Matt Hughes, and all that shit, that they went up little by little. But on the flip side of that, if it wasn't for people like Conor opening up their fucking mouths, there really wouldn't have been a European market for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's sometimes it almost seems like it comes down to the person who is charismatic enough to get that money, not really earn it, but still indirectly seem like they do.
Well, I mean, going back to what you said, that it's all about the views. It's we could be talking about pay-per-views or views on YouTube, but it really is, because like the entire reason this whole thing is possible is literally because of me and you, because of the fans, right? So you can have the two most popular motherfuckers fighting right now, but if you don't have an audience, then there's like no point in doing it. At that point, they might as well just spar in the gym. Like there's no point making this so like exuberant and shit. So, I mean, they're prize fighters. I mean, it's not the same as like, not to get stereotypical, but like a true martial artist or whatever you want to call it. Like they're prize fighters. Their job is to go in a cage or a ring, beat up the other dude, not get beat up that much, come out that motherfucker and get their paycheck. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's regulated. Contracts are signed. Everybody's wanting to do this. Everybody's consensual. So it's like, there's nothing wrong with it. The issue is when that's the only focus, when it's no longer
everybody, because we all know that, and for those who are watching who don't know, there is a clear difference between a job and a career.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's like that. If you don't know, ask somebody. We'll do that on another fucking podcast. But there is a clear difference between job and career. And maybe what a lot of people are expecting are these guys to come out like it's their career.
Right.
This is what they were born to do. This is what makes them happy. But not all of them are like that.
Right.
For some of them, it's a job. You see what I'm saying? Since you mentioned that Paul character, Paul versus Askren. Askren went in there because it was a job. Era una chiripita. The same thing as a 14-year-old cutting the grass down the street or some shit like that. And it's the same fucking thing. If I do this, I'm going to suffer for a little bit, but I'm going to make this amount of money. Boom, let's go.
Yeah, pretty much.
And yeah, I love the guy as a fighter, no doubt. What I would consider career would be somebody like an Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
He did fantastic versus the light heavyweights. He had no business going up there.
Mm-hmm.
Each and every one of us Anderson Silva fans, yo, he's going up to light heavyweight. Ah, shit.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't want this to be the end of Silva. Even though on paper it's like, dude, don't worry about it. He's not gonna do. Ah, shit. No, wait, no. You know what I'm saying? That's a career. Habib.
Yep.
Another dude that you could tell that's his career. That's something that he was born to do. Maybe people are expecting one thing, and when they finally come into the realization that there's two sides to it, they get turned off. That's what happened to me with boxing. It's like it got to a point where, because I used to watch, I was like the only 4 or 5-year-old that I've ever heard of that knew how to keep score in boxing. All the kids are asleep, and I'm up watching HBO with my pops and and half the freaking building with a paper and pencil, taking the fucking score for everybody. Oh, I got this guy on this round. I got this guy in the other round. But I saw like it not all the fights, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of the ones that I was watching, it's like, okay, do you have 12 rounds? Back then it's 12. Now it's 10. It's down to 10, or they still have it at 12. I don't even watch it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But do you have 10 to 12 rounds to knock this dude the fuck out? You know what I mean? To hit him as hard and do as much damage as possible? Or do you have 12 rounds to accumulate as many points as possible? Now, it may seem like, you know what? The boxing match, just like MMA, well, you know what? It's kind of like both. The unfortunate thing is that we have judges that are not looking at both because they only have one set of eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And they're only looking at it with those. Dude, how many controversial fucking fights off the top of your head?
Too many, yo. And yeah. And a lot of me and you are both like looking at each other like, what? And screaming at the TV, like the TV's going to do something.
Oh, I love screaming vulgarities at the TV.
And at least one occasion, I had to hold you back because you're going to kick your own goddamn TV.
Check this out, man. I was looking up different articles on controversial boxing matches throughout history.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I mean, all right. They have within the top 10, not in any specific order. They had Joe Louis winning the decision versus Jersey Joe Walcott.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Joe Louis took the decision, yet he was playing catch up the whole fight.
Mm-hmm.
And those who don't know, playing catch up means that you're behind on points. Plus, he had gotten knocked down in the first and fourth round.
Mm.
That already automatically puts you 2 points behind.
Automatically.
Wins by decision.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The first time that Joe Louis ever got booed.
Damn.
You have De La Hoya versus Pernell Whitaker in 97. You have Sugar Ray versus Tommy Hearns. You know what I mean? The one that did it for me was Sugar Ray versus Marvin Hagler. Okay. Marvin Hagler had the better, more calculated, though they weren't as much in volume, he would shake Sugar Ray every time he touched him.
Okay.
Sugar Ray's running, getting caught, running. Towards the end of the round, plip, 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 plip. Hit a nice combo. Boom. Vamos a coger.
Yeah.
He upped the numbers. You know what I mean? His numbers were a bit more because of it, but they were pity pats.
Exactly, yeah.
They weren't doing anything. Sugar Ray takes the decision. So it's about accuracy, not power. I got you. Years later, also came up in the top 10 controversies, De La Hoya and Trinidad.
Okay.
At the time, I loved both of them. I didn't give a fuck who won.
Yeah,
I really did not. But Trinidad did the same thing. Move. Throw a 5 combo, hit minimum 4 out of the 5.
Yeah.
The final stats, I couldn't find exactly, but the article was saying that he hit Trinidad at least 100 more strikes than what Trinidad hit him in the whole fight. That's significant.
That is significant, yeah.
True, Trinidad would hit him and touch the body and make the dude want to shit himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But De La Hoya had the more volume. So if you go by the same way that they ruled the Hagler Leonard fight, De La Hoya should have gotten it. He didn't. So it's like, okay, you guys really, at least this is just my opinion, guys. Please don't send me emails. Don't. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I'm just saying, stating my opinion. Somebody like me, until they decide what it is that you're looking for, have a strict list of things that these not refs, the judges are looking for. I can't involve myself in it.
You know what that makes me think of? That makes me think of the Olympics. Because if I can just like simplify what you're saying really quick, when you're judging a fight, because at the end of the day, this is what it is a fight. Do you want to judge it as a fight? Oh, Joey hit me way harder and I'm so that's a point compared to the 3 little pity pats. There he is.
Well, as far as I understand, when it comes to the Olympic boxing, you know that white square that it has.
But
it's only valid if you hit with that part.
Exactly, but see, it's not just that. The boxing, taekwondo, fencing, they're all affected by that because of the sensors on the shit they put, and also the gloves, like you said. So what happened in Olympic events, which are supposed to be the most elite athletes, they start doing things you would never do in an actual fight. Taekwondo, they fight with their hands down. There's no point in doing head kicks. A head kick will knock out a motherfucker and automatically get you a win in the UFC. But in Taekwondo, no points. So they fight with their hands down. Something Oliver knows about. How you doing, bro?
Oliver, what's going on, man?
I'm trying to get this rolling for you guys. Give me 1 second.
Okay. So yeah, so like it just comes down how you want to judge it. What do you want in that fight?
It's there. I think there's always going to be fights like that. You know what I mean? Be it boxing, be it UFC, be it whatever. I would say for me the biggest one in MMA would be Jones versus Gustafsson.
Yeah,
or Gustafsson, or however. The first one. The second one was an obvious ass whipping. You know what I'm saying? But the first one, that was just so debatable.
Yeah, Jones.
Oliver, introduce yourself for everybody, man.
Oliver, nice to meet you all, or know you all. Amateur fighter, upcoming amateur fighter, soon to be pro. So we'll be there, you know.
So check this out.
My brothers.
I can understand. Let's go on the other side of this. I can understand how the fighters can be so up on the money situation. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because they got camps that they got to pay for. Yeah. What was it? Misha Tate said, like, I think she's exaggerating a bit, but she said 96% of her paycheck went into the camp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it was not Brunson, Cannonier spent almost 6 digits on his camp.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's food, it's where you're gonna stay, it's the coach.
Yep.
Because coaches, dude, whether you're good, if you're a fighter, whether you're good or you're not, whether you get hit a lot or you don't, the hardest motherfuckers in the gym is always the coach. You know why? Because we get hit by everybody. That's our job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We can block it. We can counter that shit. But no, we got to take it because we need the fighter to know what it is to touch skin on skin. You know what I mean? Thank you, my love. So, yeah, the fighter had definitely earned his money. That's the dude that earns his money the most because that's the motherfucker that's in there in the cage. The coach earns his money if he's a real good coach. You know what I mean? The nutritionist, depending on how the fighter is before he even goes into camp. If he's 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds over, and not even a solid muscle, that nutritionist plays a really, really important fucking part in the whole shit.
Yeah,
definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Now, so yeah, I do agree that fighters should be getting paid more. But this is the other side of that shit, and some people don't like it, especially, you know, fighters that are big-headed, that think they're gonna be billionaires on this shit without even proving themselves yet. Is this. So if every time me as a company, if every time you win and you get more followers, because now that we're in the follower era, you get more followers, you get more likes, you get more wins, boom, boom. So I continuously give you more and more money. Let me ask you a question. If you start losing, can I start taking that money down again?
Yeah, if that's, I feel like it depends, because there's those scenarios where it's crowd favorites, where regardless of win or lose, they still bring in that crowd. So I think it just depends on that appeal. But if for like guys who aren't like superstars, who are like just all stars, we'll say, yeah, I feel like it is fair to, you're not performing at your best anymore, so why not have a decline in your paycheck? I mean,
because it only makes sense.
Yeah, it only makes sense.
It only makes sense, and this is going back to how we started. Pride and martial arts don't mix. You know what I'm saying? The pride and the ego of the fighter can push him. Look at John Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm winning. I'm the winningest fucking light heavyweight. I'm this, I'm that. You know what I mean? I really haven't lost a fight. That one fight was a DQ. And if you check it nowadays, it's legal. You know what I'm saying? It should be overturned. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other. I should be getting paid a whole lot more. Yeah, but you're a dick. You're a dick to a point where people don't even want to hear your shit no more.
Yeah.
So how relevant do you think you are? There have been UFC, which one was it? UFC 180 something, was it, that didn't happen because of him?
Yeah. They had to cancel the whole thing. Yeah.
Bro, how much of an ego can one person have?
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you deserve to get money taken down off of your shit.
Yeah.
But then at the other side, it's like, like you said, if they pull in numbers, then you can let it slide to a degree. Mm-hmm. But you still, if you go by that, the up and comers or the ones that are really there to fucking fight, you're not giving them their shine.
No shot.
You know what I mean? Somebody who has 30, 40 fights, whether or not he won or lost 50%, 40%, he won 80%, no matter what it is, you know what I mean? It's 30, 40 fights. My man deserves something. You know what I mean? Because let's be real. Though we know, I'm not even going to mention the name yet, but check this out. We know for a fact that this name will never, ever, ever touch a fucking title belt. Yet every time he fights, you never know if he's going to win or lose because it's a 50-50 chance with him. Yeah. But you know for a fact you're going to watch the fight, Clay Guida.
Yeah. Clay, yo, if I had his gas tank, I could walk to fucking Neptune, yo. Good Lord.
You know what I'm saying? That's a head that you know for a fact whether he win, he lose, or it goes to a fucking draw. That dude is in there to fight.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. He's going to show you wrestling. He's going to show you cardio. Every time he goes out, he gets better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? True, after like 30 fights, you would have thought he would have gotten good enough to fucking go for a title run. He can't. His skills are not there. But if you beat Clay Guida, it's not that, you know what I mean? Everybody beats him. Nah, dude. You earned your payday.
Yeah.
You got to earn your payday with him. Why would somebody like that you know that in the drop, look, man, in a week, we got this fight. I don't think you want it. Fuck it. Let's go. Just because he doesn't pull in the numbers as a company, as a business, how you going to leave that dude aside? You know what I mean? Getting paid a lot less than these dudes where even though they getting paid millions of dollars, if it's not the million that they want, they're going to give you a half-ass job. Meanwhile, this dude is in 5 digits, making barely 50 G's, hoping he get a fucking bonus of the night. You know what I'm saying? Always giving you 150% of himself.
That's true.
So that's like, how do you even draw the line on that? You know what I mean? How do you?
And I feel like if and when that problem gets resolved, the some sort of minimum wage or something. I don't know. But anyway, if and when that problem gets resolved, it might automatically fix the problem where it's like, I need a huge payday. Fuck it, I'm gonna go box a YouTuber.
And you know, I don't think it's man, we're gonna get feedback for this shit. I'm sorry, everybody out there, but I think it's a good thing because in a very short amount of time, not only has MMA evolved, it was born, grew up, evolved, and it continues to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know. I know you guys know, but for those who don't know that are watching this, the Olympics were going to get rid of wrestling. Yeah. That is the first fucking Olympic sport ever, bro.
Like literally.
Get rid of that. That shit is coming from ancient Greece, dude. What the fuck? MMA community saved that. I think what's going on right now is good for boxing because at least you got heads watching it, and it's obvious enough for even the casual person to go, but I expected more skills, especially when the fight before you had Serrano fighting. Showing hands. So people are going to see her fight and then see these dudes and be like, I don't know, but why they look so funny?
Yeah.
And that curiosity makes you hungry, and that hunger makes you appreciate the sport. Either you practice it, you train it, you compete, you just do it for health reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the main good thing out of these, like, you know, circus fights where it's all about the money and shit. Because you're bringing in a whole new market. Like the Paul brothers, most of their fans are like little kids. They're like middle school kids, and most middle school kids don't really watch UFC or give a shit about anything that's not TikTok.
You know what I'm not liking, and maybe you guys feel differently, but what I'm not liking is, okay, this fight is 12 rounds, but this other fight gonna be 10 rounds. These guys are gonna be 8 rounds. No, these other guys are gonna be 6 rounds. Mm-hmm. I definitely didn't like the fact that the women did 2-minute rounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm the farthest thing from a male chauvinist, dude. I am the farthest fucking thing. So I'm like, look, if we getting knocked upside our motherfucking head for 3 minutes, how come they can't? Equal opportunity, you know what I'm saying? You want to go in there and get knuckles, yo? You take knuckles for 3 minutes like the fucking rest of us. Because you guys have trained with me. You know how it is. We stop being male and female once you train, and once you get to the spot to train, you all a fighter. We're all the same. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but yeah, man, I had to let that one go. I had to let that one go. I don't like the fact that they keep, okay, for this fight is this, for this fight is that. Yeah, MMA has that. It's called either you're an amateur or you're fucking professional, one of the two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or you're in a title fight. That's 5 rounds.
Or you're in a title fight, or you're in Japan.
I see. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It usually breaks down to a commission thing, not a okay. Let's make this easier for you.
Yeah.
Because if you want to look at it like that, well, you know, MMA guys can change stuff. They're making it harder. You got niggas like Diaz. It's like, yo, man, you know, I know it's supposed to be a 3-minute fight, but I want a war, so give me 5 minutes. Give me 25 minutes of knuckling up with this dude. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that everybody's ready at the same time for whatever venue. Either stay ready, get ready in time, or just deal with bregar con el castigo. Si buscaste fuerte, cogete fuerte.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, pride, money, fighting. Are they built at the same time within the same business plan or sports plan, or because you can't even see it as a business plan? It's like I said, it comes from so far back, and the word itself, prize fighter, is so old that it has to be part of the sport already. Yet at the same time, it's one part of the sport where you cannot have in your head, Oliver, you a fighter, you an active fighter. What'll happen to you if you go fuck a fight just into training with your head on money?
On just the money? Especially
on anything that's not this dude in front of you trying to take your head off.
Yep. you're not gonna be ready at all. You gotta be. It's a complete it's a complete focus thing. Like, I mean, you see it. Like that's like the biggest downfall. Once they're not worried about the actual glory of the fighting, that's when everything goes downhill. Literally, the only exception I can say is probably Floyd Mayweather. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? He put in the work, and he's so disciplined that he's able to, you know what I'm saying? He put in the work and worked so hard to the fact that he perfected his craft, and it's just that, you know, that's what that ability was pretty much what helped him drive him, regardless of what his mind was on, regardless if he was worried about a championship or just money, you know.
It's like I said.
What'd you say?
My bad. It's like I said before you came in. Like Floyd Mayweather, he sacrificed his ability to read to be the best boxer in the world.
I think he has 4 or 5 of his fights are in the top 10 highest in grossing fights in history.
I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
He has the first, obviously, which is, you know what? Shit. I had it somewhere around here. I'm gonna tell you real quick too, because I have it right here. 4,600,000 pay-per-view buys.
Oof.
That's quite a few dollars.
Yeah, him. So it's like him being that big draw, but like I said, you gotta take your hats off to him, regardless. Just like when you know, as a casual, you lots of people they hate the guy, but when you see he actually put to it, you can't. As a real martial artist and fight fan, you really can't hate the guy, regardless of all his, you know, his whatever, his money,
antics,
his antics and whatnot. But you gotta his discipline. The guy doesn't no alcohol, no nothing, doesn't smoke. Works like in the gym is a workhorse, a real workhorse. Smart about it too. Like really has the signs down to it, and that's why you gotta give him his respect.
Do you guys think that anybody in their right mind can do combat sports just for the money? There's got to be
Just
some
for the
type
money?
of love, dude. Because I mean,
Yeah.
this is what I like to tell quite a few people this. It's like, you'll know whether or not you want to do this, not if you get a knockout, not if you knock somebody out, not if you spend hours upon hours of training. When you finally go shin to shin with somebody in training, that's kind of when you go, yeah, do I really want to continue to do this shit?
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. You when you get punched in the face and it's like, oh shit, your eyes open up. It's like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Or even before, like competing wise, I like when you compete, it's like you're in there and you're just waiting and just that anxiety, and it's like, why the fuck am I doing this?
It's love. There's got to be a love to it. You have to make it a career.
Yeah, and that's why
You can't make it just a job, man.
Those guys that make it a job, they either don't last long or they're not successful.
Yeah.
Like you see those guys that
What happened, John?
just in it for the money. That's how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of, and piggybacking off of that and the stuff that Joy was saying, when it comes to those three things, the fight, pride, and money, I feel they're unavoidable. So you just gotta have a balance with it. Like, you know, have a little pride. Like, yeah, I'm tough. I'm the champion. Whatever. You gotta have your money because motherfuckers gotta eat, and you gotta have the fight. You gotta have the focus.
But the thing is this: the company is the one with the money that the fighter wants. So does the balance come from behalf of the fighter, or does the balance come on behalf of the company?
Both, because
let's be as somebody who has trained your brother right there, you gotta have a leash on these young motherfuckers, bro. Como dicen los Gracie, they're all a bunch of little lions, and every now and then they want to, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have a leash on them. So I understand that, but the coaches, we're not the ones that give out the money.
I think it has to do with both the company and the fighter, because the company has to be like, okay, is this enough money to the point where, you know, this fighter deserves it, I can afford it, and also I don't have to worry about this fighter going to my competition, going
Bro,
to
how do you
boxing.
put a price on that?
It just depends on the situation. And on top of that, it also depends on the fighter because it's like, okay, they're paying me X amount of money. Do I want to do it for X amount of money or do I want to do it for Z amount of money, Y amount of money? And at that point, does it break down? Does it become a whole like, nah, he's only in for it for the money? And so, yeah, when you focus too much on money, shit happens like, maybe using Connor as an example. It's like he's not as sharp as he used to be, and it's like literally all about the money now. And when there's too much pride, you just got yourself a Jake Paul, where he had a whole bunch of fights against non-boxers. One of them was a retired NBA player, for God's sake. And he's talking about, yeah, I want to fight Canelo, I want to fight Connor. These bitch ass niggas can't. Like, bro, what are you talking about?
Let me interject real quick for those who are watching us and those who will watch us later on. Check this out. This whole MMA versus boxing spectacle thing, super fights, whatever you want to call it, it is non-existent. Okay? There's no such thing as MMA versus boxing unless you are allowing the MMA fighter to use his kicks, his takedowns. Otherwise, you cannot call it MMA.
They can let me in with those boxers. That'd be fair.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that. The example I wanted to give of like how these money fights, these super fights, it's nothing new. You gave an example from like the 1920s. I got an example from 1976. Muhammad Ali, who the fuck does not know Muhammad Ali? He fought Antonio Inoki, which was a super famous Japanese professional wrestler. Yeah.
Wrestler, yeah.
And his leg almost got fucked up.
And
yeah, but wasn't that one of those staged things? The like kind of like he did with
Floyd and Big Show.
What was his name? There's this comedian from Puerto Rico back in the days, and they did a boxing match.
It was an exhibition sort of thing, but it wasn't scripted, so anything can happen. And that's how Ali almost fucked up his leg trying to like get away from a takedown or something like that. But yeah.
I don't have a problem with those exhibition matches at all. I mean,
they're educational.
Yeah, I guess.
If it's an exhibition of styles, I have no. Poopy just went. It was Don Cholito. Thank you, sir. Don Cholito was the one that Muhammad Ali fought in PR. Yeah. If you're exhibiting your style, your skills, your ability, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? Do that. But to defend boxing and those boxing pugilistic purists, you know what I'm saying? If the standard is 10 rounds, 3 minutes each, then flip the 10 rounds, 3 minutes each. You know what I mean? Do it. Give it the respect that it is, man. Boxing has been around for a long freaking time, B.
Yeah.
And it is extremely effective. You know, even as for self-defense, it is extremely effective. The speed, the accuracy, the movement. Us doing Wing Chun, maybe the movement isn't the same, but the principles of it, of not giving your opponent a stagnant fucking target, that still remains the same. And if it's a universal principle, under the definition of universal, it has to apply for everything.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I can understand how people with that see combat sports with those eyes, because I'm one of them, how they can see this other stuff and be like, this fucking sucks. It's almost to a point of a disrespect, you know what I'm saying? Because I started very young watching this stuff and trying to understand why they move like this. How come they don't move like that? Why the jab goes first? Why does this go afterwards? Why are they turning like this? You never know what child is watching that, and you want them to come up with a better sport, with a better understanding of the sport, because that's going to do nothing but push the sport forward. And once again, you're welcome. MMA is saving boxing the same way MMA saved Olympic wrestling. So what's next? You know what I mean? It should be. things should start changing within the actual, for lack of better words, politics of the sports. You know what I mean? Unified. This is what it is. This is what we're looking for. I do agree with Dana White. You know this happens. Don't leave it in the judge's hands.
Exactly.
Don't leave it in the judge's hands. What, Oliver, you fought last Saturday. Wasn't that one of the things I told you?
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave it in the judge's hands, because the judge's hands are not the ones in there. It's your hands or your opponent's hands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, John, you said you had some surprises for us. You were going to play the 10th man and just completely go on the opposite route of whatever we said, and you've agreed with pretty much everything.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, my only surprise was just playing devil's advocate, and you're open-minded enough where it's not really an issue. So
Thank you. I'll try not to make it a habit.
I mean, yeah, shit. I'm shocked right now. I almost spilled my coffee and shit. Like, damn. but yeah, like kind of going even further as to seeing the fighter as a company. Like it even got to the point where hold on. It even got to the point where like a fucking comic book, out of all things, was produced out of that. Yeah,
What?
this is canon. This is like legit. Like DC produced this in the peak of Ali's fame.
Really?
Yeah, fucking him and Superman went at it. And I don't care if you're Superman, you don't leave it in the hands of the judges. So yeah, and
Was it one of those things like when Hickson Gracie came out in the movie The Hulk, and he slapped Norton, and Norton's like, "Hold on," like he's about to get mad and turn into the Hulk, and it's like, "Go ahead." Hickson Gracie will tap that green son bitch out. Go ahead, let him out, motherfucker.
Pretty much. And going even more in depth to like, okay, because the main idea of what we're talking about is, like, is it right to criticize fights that focus entirely on the money, like these freak show fights? Pride has had a bunch of them. Literally any fight with Gabby Garcia is a freak show fight. Fucking the shit with the YouTubers.
In Gabby's defense, that's not her fault.
I mean, I'm sure it's not her fault. She's 9 feet tall, and her opponents are like the size of my dog. But sure,
It's
whatever.
very small and puny. Go ahead. Continue.
She's actually a very well decorated Brazilian
Jiu-jitsu champ.
Yes,
Yup.
Yes, she is. Watching some of her fights, you wouldn't know that because she just has to pummel these bitches, and I'm not even like.
Well, I don't know, bro. I've seen a couple of her jiu-jitsu matches.
Yeah,
and
no
she
doubt.
got technique out the ass, bro.
No doubt, no
And
doubt,
that's a 9-foot ass.
no doubt.
Her striking does suck though.
His striking does suck, but like when
Yeah, but
she's
we're
fighting,
talking jiu-jitsu.
yeah, sure, but
Not her MMA.
Now, Risen MMA is a joke, bro.
yeah.
They have Floyd fighting some kickboxer.
The kickboxer, the kid, yeah, fucking, but yeah, he fought some. He was Japanese, right, Oliver?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
kid's pretty good too. But
Yeah, he's
it was
pretty good.
definitely scripted. You could tell.
Yeah, the way he was falling super exaggerated. Whoa, and it was like, yeah. But the thing I was saying though, like, Gabby Garcia's thing is trash. So going more like in depth into that, every fighter has their agenda. So like, okay, we're criticizing these money fights. They only have to do with the money. They only have to do with the shock factor. Oh my God, it's a YouTuber fighting some bum or whatever. But thinking of it that way, what about like UFC 1? Like Gracie only went. What if you could say, oh, Gracie only went into it to promote
It was
his
an infant.
A what?
UFC was an infancy for
It
UFC
was.
1, dude. So it's like you can't even compare. And it was that was definitely exhibition, because it was exhibiting the best they can
skills.
find of boxing versus the best they can find of wrestling, the best they can find of shoot boxing versus the best they can find of. So yeah, that I would definitely call it
Look, I'm gonna tell you guys. To be honest, I have no issue with the exhibition fights, celebrity fights. They're funny to watch. They're fun. I feel like with the issue where it comes is when these guys are refusing to fight real boxers. Like, let's say there's a lot of upcoming boxers that are good, Like Jake Paul could have fought. You feel me?
Oliver Contreras.
Whoever he could have fought me. I wouldn't be smart though.
And lost,
but you know he's choosing to go a different route. I feel like I give him his respect for fighting Woodley. That's probably his first and only like real test. You can say.
Hell yeah.
But even then, like Woodley's not a fucking striker. Like come on.
Yeah, did you see his stance? How like just weird it was though.
Woodley was known to have that
well, you know what? The weird stance doesn't really say much because I'm coming from the generation that saw Costa Zoo, that saw fucking what's the dude Azuma Nelson.
Yeah,
those are even George Foreman with this guard.
Yeah.
When he first came out, I was like, what the hell was that? You know what I mean? So during the evolution of boxing, the weird stances have always been there. The original stance is Old Irish.
See, like I said, that doesn't matter. Like I said, what matters is he's not really. It's just I feel like it's just a disrespect. Him calling out goats like Canelo, and you're calling out Canelo, but you're beating a wrestler, a basketball player, and a wrestler.
And Ben Askren.
And whatever the fuck Ben Askren is.
There you go.
Yeah,
respect on Ben Askren, man. Great wrestler. Great grappler.
That's where it stays.
But, shit, he made it work. He made it work in his one FC days. But
but I mean, you can't expect Jake Paul to like start fighting top names. Just because he's getting views like that.
But that's the thing. Like you can't expect him to fight top names, but he shouldn't be acting like he can. Like, bro, why are you shouting out Canelo and Conor?
Because right now that's opening a door for him that wouldn't have opened unless he opened up his mouth. Once again, open your mouth, open your wallet.
Yeah. And it's like Oliver says, at that point it's a disrespect, and at that point is where I criticize. But
I don't. Other than that, though, like I said, I enjoy it. Like I enjoy it. I'm not taking it seriously. Like
exactly.
I'm not paying for it, but I watch it.
Sure. I feel the same way because like I explained to Joy a few times. I see it as like junk food. You live a healthy lifestyle. You work out. You eat clean. You know what I'm saying? Every day, boom, boom, boom. But then come Saturday, you get your cheat meal. You're allowed that one, sandwich or whatever the fuck. So it's the same thing with this. So like, I watch like quote unquote real fights, actual fights.
Yeah, but you also like McDojo videos.
That's part of the junk food. I'm gonna get to that.
It's a lot of junk food.
It's a lot of junk food. But listen, it's so good though. But listen, so you got what I do daily. You watch the actual fights. I train with Joey. It's like healthy eating, quote unquote. And you know what? It's Saturday. Let me watch one of these stupid ass fights. Let me watch a McDojo video or something. I deserve it. I was good all week. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it.
But I can still understand the disrespect. I know I'm playing both sides of the fucking court in this thing, But I can see why those who are not casuals can see it as a disrespect because everybody knows these are a bunch of fools making the same amount, if not more, than these other fools, than these other dudes that are putting in the actual time and the money.
And that's what I say. Like it's not really fair. It's not fair to these upcoming guys who are really working hard and really making us have the passion, have the glory, put the hard work. But it's like you can't be a hater because it's like end of the day they put in the work just in a different route and they just decided to use that platform that they had to jump the boat, jump ships, and take advantage of this too. So it's like it's not. It just wouldn't be. It wouldn't. I feel like it's kind of haterish to criticize it and to be that mad, be that disrespected just because these guys are doing it. And that's coming from a fighter who doesn't have shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being real. Like, I mean, he put in his work with his YouTube shit and then took advantage of that platform and jumped ship. So, fuck it.
He put in work one way or another. It's just not the work that most
as the
fighters would be
the general fighter
comfortable with.
Exactly.
Because I can understand the whole, you didn't put in the work, you didn't earn, I'm gonna throw a quick story in there. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna give names, but I had this one dude who used to train with us back in Puerto Rico, right? Boom. And I had my son and a couple of other guys that I used to train or whatever. And the first dude, he would come in drunk and high and whatever, which is good. I don't care as long as you put in the work. You know what I'm saying? None of us are fighting for a fucking 6-figure, paycheck or whatever. So come in, just show respect to the place and put in your work. My man didn't want to do no duck squats, no drills, no nothing, but wanted to get into the ring and spar. So I tried talking to him a couple of times. Look, you know what? I don't think it's right. Put in the work, blah, blah, blah. So the last time he went through, came up on the same thing. Now I'm not feeling good. I'm kind of hungover, blah, blah, blah. And automatically all the other guys just started looking at him with this face like, dude, I want to chew you up, man. The disrespect. Yo, but I'll spar though. I did the only thing that I could figure was the right thing to do. I said, okay, because now it's not with me no more. Now the disrespect isn't with me. The disrespect isn't with yourself. The disrespect is with your Kung Fu brothers. I'll let them handle you. Nigga, they handled him. They ain't like put him out of commission, but they handled him real nice. You know what I'm saying? Complete domination. All of them. All 5 of them took turns on that motherfucker.
God damn, I thought it was 3.
No. They took turns on him, babe. You know what I mean? On some gangbang shit. They took turns on this dude, yo. And I could understand that. Why? Because I see them putting in the work. And those of you who have never trained, seen an athlete train, those of you who are not athletes and trained, those of you who have never trained like an athlete or next to an athlete or even do their workouts, you have no idea. You literally punish your body till you cry. You know what I mean? You don't know yourself. There's a lot of people off. I'm a king. I'm a queen. I know who I am. I know who I am. Honestly, and it's not because I train martial arts. You know what I mean? It's not a personal pride thing. It's just an experience thing. Until you train your body to the point where it wants to fucking shut down, you don't know yourself. You don't know yourself. You don't know your limitations. And you definitely don't know what you're capable of. Because I can guarantee you that you're capable of a lot more than what you're doing right now. Each and every one of you out there watching right now, each and every one of you can do 1,000 times more than what you're doing right now at your best. But you'll never know that unless you train. And these guys put in the work, the weight cut, the bringing up the power, the bringing up the speed, the technique. Guys, sometimes, and both of y'all, I think you concur with this, yo. Sometimes the most simplest technique, the most simplest movement will fuck with you for years, literally for years. Why can't I put my hand up like this? All it is put my hand up. Sometimes I'm like, just, you like, yeah, I can do that. No, like this. Yeah, I got it. No, like this. Shut your mouth. And the hand comes down. It's your brain just fucking calculated. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, these guys go through a lot. Oliver, you know it. You went through a pretty rough weight cut. It wasn't horrible, right? But it was.
That was horrible.
It was horrible. Tell us quickly about it, man. So people will know.
So this last fight I took on 2 weeks' notice, and I was a little overweight from the fight.
How much is a little?
I was planning on fighting actually this weekend. And
how much is a little?
Fighting this weekend. I'm gonna go into that. Don't worry. I was planning on fighting this weekend at 225, and I was walking around at 255. So, but then I got offered a fight 2 weeks notice at 215. So I spent that literally that whole week and a half just cutting down the right.
That's 40 pounds for those who are mathematically impaired.
like me. But
and me, yeah.
but but I was working. We're just working hard, just changing my diet. I wasn't eating any meat or any. I kept everything plant based and just eating really right, really low. And I'm just working extra hard. I was working out probably 3 times a day and running every day. And I got to about 230, 230. Like that's what I was fluctuating 230, 235 around there. Well, sometimes I'd be like 228 too. So 228 to 235. I'd fluctuate. And it came the last night before weigh-ins. It was that Thursday. My coach and my main training partner Mike. They took me to the sauna, and it was just cutting away from there. Like I drank water that whole day until 6 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock hit, and we went to that sauna. And I'm in that sauna. We first did 4 20-minute rounds in the sauna, which doesn't sound like much, but when you crank
How
that
much?
sauna
How
all
much
the
of
way
a break in between those 20 minutes do you get?
a minute and a half.
Whoa!
Damn.
Yeah, and the first 3, I wore a sauna suit over it as well, with pants and a hat. Just without and we put Albolene, which is the sweet sweat. It's something that it opens up your pores and it causes you to sweat. So it brings that water out. And so we did that. We did the first 4 rounds. Boom. The first 4 rounds. After the 3rd round, I was dead. I had to take all my clothes off. I was in my underwear in that sauna. Everybody's coming in there, and they're like, yeah, they're like, come on, man, you got it. Like trying to cheer me up. I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. Stop talking to me. I don't want to talk to any of you guys. And so after the 4th one, we checked my weight. I was down 11 pounds. So I cut 11 pounds. I was 233. I got down to 220. 222. That's what it was. 222. And my coach was like, all right, let's try to do 2 more 10-minute. We did 2 more 10-minute rounds. So we did 2 more 10-minute rounds in the sauna. Them sucked. And then after that, he was like, all right, let's do 10 more minutes in the hot tub. 10 minutes in the hot tub. and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be easier. Nope. Sucked.
And in
That's
all this,
ridiculous.
you can't drink shit of water.
Oh yeah, no. The most
Because then you just reverse everything you just finished doing.
Yeah.
After my fourth round, he gave me some water. He was like, "You get to take a sip of it and just swig it around in your mouth and spit it out. You can't drink it." I'm like, oh.
Damn.
I'm like, I don't even want to do that. And Mike was like, "Just do it, bro. Just do it." I'm like, all right. And then like they stuck in there with me a lot of it. So I give them like it's me the real guys. I appreciate that because without them, I know I wouldn't have did it. But like Mike will hop in, he'll come in, he'll be like this. Damn, I feel bad for you. And then he's like, well, I gotta go now. It's too hot in here. He walks out and I still got 8 minutes left. I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to die. I literally felt like I was losing feelings in my hands and everything. Like it was terrible. And but yeah, I was dried out all the way. I left there 220. I couldn't drink that whole night. So I'm in there. I'm in my house. I take a shower. I'm like, let me take a shower, a cold shower, take a cold shower, and I'm laying down. I'm like, man, I can't drink. I drink so much. I'm so used to drinking water. Like I drink about 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons a day. So going from that to nothing was fucking terrible. So
now, for those who are watching that don't understand why a fighter would go down in weight like that. First of all, the way whatever it is that you're walking around, what we call your walk around weight. Whatever it is you're walking around with, that's pre-training. That means you haven't trained, you haven't done any muscle work, cardio work, burning fat, none of that shit. You know what I mean?
It's comfortable.
Yeah, your walk around weight and your fighting weight is 2 different things. Why? Because you want to make sure that your fight weight, you're at your optimum in everything. Your cardio, your breathing, your speed. You want your whole machine to be al palo. You know what I mean? You don't want your Lamborghini to have regular unleaded fuel and Volkswagen tires on it. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be ready to hit that asphalt and let's go. That's why these fighters do that. Now, just because you walk around as a heavyweight does not mean you should be fighting in heavyweight. I've told quite a few. I've told Oliver. I've told my son this. You know what I mean? When you fight a heavyweight, you're literally fighting monsters, yo. You know what I mean? The limit in MMA is 265, and you got dudes that cut weight to make 265.
Yep. Derek Lewis was just talking about that. Derek Lewis cuts down to get to 265. A lot of guys cut down to get to 265.
So yeah, you do want to test yourself as a fighter, but you also want to do it as safe as possible. You know what I'm saying? You're not just trying to, yeah, man, give me a butter knife. I'm gonna come back with a fucking lion pelt. No, that shit doesn't happen like that, bro. It doesn't happen like that. So these fighters, they go through this because it's not as far as some people will say, oh, it's to make sure they have an advantage, but it's not about an advantage, more like leveling the playing field. You know what I mean? Let's all meet here, so this way we all at our optimum.
Just because you're weighing this much doesn't mean that should be your natural weight. Like, for example, a good guy who's a good example is that fighter Kevin Gastelum. Like, Kevin Gastelum should not be fighting at 185. He's about 5'8". You can still see him, like, when he's fighting, he has love handles, and he's not in elite athlete shape when he's fighting, and he's still able to do what he does. You know, that's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if Kevin Gastelum really took it serious and cut down to 170, it'll be a whole different story. Like, it'd be a monster. Like, but it's
do you think it's pride that's keeping him there, or money?
Nah, I just feel like he's comfortable.
And the only reason why I say money is because if he goes down to 170, he doesn't have to start all the way at the bottom, but he's not going to be starting with the top 5. Yeah. Where he's at right now, at any moment, they can be like, look, the champion needs a dance partner because his dance partner fucking fell out. You want in. He's always going to get a top 7 dude.
But honestly, like I said, he, I think he'd still get a chance. But I know one thing. He's really good. He's really good friends with Kamaru Usman. They have the same manager, Ali. So that might play a part in it. Also, another thing, he's I just rewatched his Ultimate Fighter, like when he won the season, and like they was talking about his eating habits then, like they were terrible. Like, he's eating bullshit and lots. So it's probably like his diet is he just isn't disciplined, So his diet is not disciplined.
You know what? This is good right here. Why don't you guys take the GSP route and maintain the weight?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Jose Julio Rodriguez. That's my first teacher right there. That's my teacher, Poopy. Respect. You know what? Jose Julio, I've been asking them the same fucking thing for years. I'll be right back. You guys can answer his question. How come you don't stay and maintain the weight that you're supposed to be at?
I think what it is just a lot of guys, they're like, man, fuck that. I just cut all this weight. I deserve a big steak meal. That's what it is. I deserve to act the ass, and I don't have to. And maybe training camp for these 3 months. I do this 3 months of cutting the weight. And I could do this 3 months of just being disciplined and then go back to my regular life afterwards. So I feel like that's what it is, and they just don't stick to it. But honestly,
and some of them don't even wait that long. Like, after the fight in the press conference, you be seeing like Jorge Masvidal eating pizza and shit. So like some of them don't even wait that long. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I feel like it would be easier. Like I said, I praise guys like that, like B-Hop and Floyd Mayweather, where they're disciplined the whole time. Canelo works the whole time to make his weight and to stay where he needs to be. But yeah, that's my plan. My plan to get down as close as I can, and just if I have to cut, I just cut like 10, 15 pounds where it's easy. I'm not worried about it. It's gonna be easy. I got 3 months to cut 10 to 15 pounds. That's gonna come right off. I just gotta maybe this time I just gotta for the last week of fighting before my fight, I just gotta cut out a little bit of carbs, or maybe cut out a little bit of water for this last 2 days or something. Like that'll be easy. But yeah, that's my plan. I don't plan on staying high and cutting down. Like, it's guys like Paulo Costa and and who gain back. They walk around like 250 and they fight at 85. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean that it's I see two things in it. You know what I mean? One, eventually that's got to break the body down.
It
Yeah.
does.
You know what I mean? And two, you can get away with it when you're young. I'm gonna sound like an old fart, but fuck it. You can get away with it when you're younger. But when everything starts slowing down when you get older, you can't play the same games with your body anymore.
That's why a lot of those guys are forced to move up in weight, like Anthony Johnson and you know, Diego Sanchez, guys like that who were way lighter weights and were forced.
Now,
to,
I think people should still check and not check. Don't wait until you're actually in the octagon to see whether or not it works for you. You know what I'm saying? But be honest with yourself. And sometimes that's a hard thing for anybody to do under any situation. Be honest with yourself on how you feel if you go up.
Mhm.
Up or down, any which way. But like, okay, me personally, in a year, I put on 30 pounds of muscle with my new training. You know what I mean? I got as far up as 192 pounds. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like the way it felt. Was I hitting harder? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I was hitting a lot harder than I was at 160 something, 170 something. Hitting a fuck lot harder. But I didn't like it. 10 push-ups felt like 20 push-ups.
Yep, that's how it is.
100 dips felt like 300 dips. So there's two things. I could either get accustomed to a lower weight, you know what I'm saying? Or build my way up little by little, little by little. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that prize fighters have the luxury of doing both those things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those who go up little by little, if you're able to do it successfully, you end up with a GSP. You know what I mean? Though I can't stand them as a person, you end up with a John Jones. People who could say, I cleared out the division. A Demetrius Johnson. I'll start at 20. Who's the next one? Well, I guess it's number 19. All right, you beat him. Who's the next one? Well, I guess it's number 18. But once again, we're dealing with prize fighting. Going back to the topic, money and the combat sports, you're trying to get paid, bro.
Yeah.
And number 20 ain't going to pay you the same way number 5 and up are going to pay you.
Nope.
But yet at the same time, you need something coming in so you can keep the gloves on. You know what I mean? So this is just one of those conundrums. The what came first, chicken or egg? You know what I mean? What takes the front line, the money or the actual fight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you for joining. Don't hang up yet. We're gonna talk shit in the studio for a little while. Everybody who watched us, the hour is over. We check you next week. What the topic's gonna be? Who the fuck knows? Stay tuned, baby. Oh, and train. Get your asses to training.